Hey there, fools. Big T here, and I'm back with another video. And this one will be about Super Smash Bros. Ultimate and people calling it a port. I just wanted to talk about the fact that, there's probably from the beginning, everybody thought that Smash, the next Smash game for Switch would be a port. And, there was evidence to suggest that because we were getting other ports of Wii U games. And we thought, maybe that Smash would be some kind of deluxe, not unlike Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Now, I've heard that a port, to be called a port, has to be a straight port. Basically, nothing's added to it, or maybe a few things are added to it. But Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, I don't think anybody will argue that's a port, and it has a completely new online battle system, battle mode, which is completely new to that game. And for me, the reason I even bought it, because that made it justifiable to buy, because it was the mode that I wanted from the Wii U version, or on the Wii U version that we never got. We got some really cheap, kind of crappy version of that, and this is a full-fledged, really good mode. So yeah, a port can have a new mode, new features to it. So I don't understand that logic, but I just wanted to talk about the fact that some people are getting defensive about Smash being a port, or people saying that Smash Ultimate is a port. And I just want to just go back into history, and we can talk about why that was even a thing. Like I said, for the longest time, people were speculating that would happen, but it wasn't just speculation. There were people, those people who always have the quote-unquote insider information, the inside news, were coming out saying, multiple times that Smash for Switch, whenever it happened, would be a port of the Wii U version, and basically combining the 3DS stuff with Wii U, which, again, like I said, made a lot of sense. It was logically made a lot of sense because that was already happening with other games. So when these people were saying that, to me, it was just like an educated guess. But they were saying that they had, inside sources, their sources were saying, and people were reporting this. And that goes back to another of my other issues, that people get upset when I talk about rumors and not caring about rumors, not wanting to talk about rumors because they are just rumors. And the thing about rumors is that regardless of how the person relaying the rumor says, oh, you need to judge this with a grain of salt, this is just a rumor, blah, blah, blah. You bringing that to your platform and reporting that gives it credence. Regardless of how, you try to not, you try to basically distance yourself from it, even though you're reporting it, you're giving it credence by talking about it. So when you do that, it raises expectations of the average person. Now, not everybody's going to take that information as fact, but a good portion of the community who watch videos will take that as, oh, this is probably happening, this is possibly happening, especially if you're somebody who yourself thought this was going to be a thing, thought that it was going to happen, and then to have somebody come out and basically validate your thought, your belief that this was already going to happen by saying their sources are telling them these things, then it won't matter. Like, they will believe based on their own beliefs, and then being like I said, validated by somebody else's information, quote unquote information, then they're gonna believe that, the Smash was gonna be a port. And I think pretty much, all the guys I talked to, the Juices Loose podcast, we all thought and believed that it was gonna be a port. And we talked about it multiple times on the podcast that, it was probably gonna be a port. When is it coming? When is it coming? Because we all wanted to play it and, to have that great game, Smash 4 on Switch, to be able to play online and enjoy, because not everybody plays their Wii U's anymore. So we just wanted that game brought over so we can all play it again and have some good online gaming and add it into our, our online gaming rotation. So we were just waiting for it. But once the, the sort of, what was the trailer kind of revealed, the one that shows Splatoon characters and stuff, and you saw a glimpse of the shadowy figures of the characters for, the next Smash. It didn't say what it was called then, but we now know it's Ultimate. Once I saw that, I was like, well, this can't be a port, because look at this, what they're doing, and the characters look different. But not only because of that, it was because Nintendo, you would think at that time, letting us know there was a Smash coming, would have just said this is going to be, Smash 4 Deluxe or something. There would be no reason for them not to say that at that point, because if you don't, you're raising the expectation that it's not gonna, or that it is gonna be a port, or that it's not gonna be a port. So they would have just came out and said back then, this is Smash 4 Ultimate or something, and that people would have been fine with that. But because they didn't say anything about it, they didn't say at the time. They didn't say, yeah, this is not a port, or this is a port. Most people I think were like, yeah, this is probably going to be a new Smash game, and it made a lot of sense. So I and most of the people I talked to came off that port, thinking it was port. But there was a good amount of people, let's say 30% of people, who probably still thought it was going to be a port. I would see people in my comment section saying, no, I think it's a port. And I was like, I don't think so. I think they would have just said it was going to be a port. But there was, and there was nothing, I had no ill will toward those people for thinking it was a port. I understood where they were coming from, because their thought process that it would be a port up until then, and Nintendo didn't confirm or deny that it was going to be a port at that time. And then, and then you had the rumors being reported back when that this would be a deluxe version of Smash 4. So I wasn't gonna try to beat into their head that no, this is definitely a new game. So when we finally found out that Smash Ultimate was a thing and it was a new game, and you saw the comparison, you saw how it compared to Smash for Wii U. It wasn't like something overwhelming, oh my god, visual change. It was sensible upgrades, So you still could see where people would be like, it's using the same engine and just not that visually different. It's probably still a port. And, people will go back and forth on what their definition of a port is. My definition of a port is you took this old game and you vamped up the graphics a little bit and you put the game on another system. But obviously at this point, Smash Ultimate is not a port of Smash 4. I mean, it's not. But there are still people who believe that it is, and it's mainly because it doesn't look overwhelmingly different from Smash 4. And, it's a fighting game. And these things happen with fighting games, shooters, that come out every year, sports games that come out every year. These things happen, and people, aren't overly blown away by the next iteration, so they just say, oh, it's a port. So stop getting defensive. Like, there's no reason to be defensive about people who feel that way, because, logically it makes sense. And if you're one of those people who reported the rumor that it would be a port, and for months and months and months people thought it was going to be a port, and they talked about it being a port in podcasts and their own individual videos, then in their mind, they were thinking it was going to be a port. And based on what they saw from ultimately, pun intended, they weren't completely like ripped from that thought process. So like, you got to take some of the responsibility if you were one. Like, people make videos and they do things and they just completely forget about their stances and what they talked about and how they said things, and then they come and completely change their whole situation. And it's like, well, I know where you came from. Like, like, you said things before that don't match up with how you feel now. Like, dare I say Wii U. There's a lot of, like, you know, Wii U bashing from people who weren't saying these things during the Wii U. So I don't like to be the person to point that out. I'm just irritated because I hear it over and over and over again. I'm like, well, you never said anything like that when you were in your podcast and you were playing your video games on the Wii U, and I didn't hear these things. But now it's just like, what do they call it? It's not reverse history. What is it called? When it's like revision history. It's like revision history with a lot of these guys. And you go look at my videos. I'm consistent in my Reddit for the most part. I mean, I've changed my mind on some things, but for the most part, my point of view, where I'm coming from, is very similar. And I think my videos hold up today. Those old ones hold up to today's standards. So yeah, you gotta check yourself sometimes before you do these things that go off on the deep end, because, you know, maybe some of the new people who are around you and chat with you and don't know the history, but I know the history. I've been on YouTube a while. I know where a lot of you guys are coming from. So let's try to be consistent in our rhetoric. That's all. All right, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you think people who are calling it a port should be pitchforked out of the community? Or do you kind of understand where they're coming from? Because I do. They're wrong that it's a port, but I understand where they're coming from. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comments below. Thank you for watching and listening as always, and I'll see you fools next time. Peace out.